What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another VHS video. Let's talk about Dollmaster in VHS and how you can counter him, or at least help your team counter him, because it truly is a team effort in this game versus this monster. Alright, let me start by mentioning some obvious weaknesses of the monster. First, he doesn't have a great defensive ability. No armor to take a hit like Wart, no howl like Werewolf to disable weapons. Even if he plops a doll down in your face and uses it to take a hit, sure, it's a bit like Wart armor where your weapon will be wasted, but it also stuns and reveals him, allowing someone to run in and get an easy kill. This makes stun weapons very effective against this monster for taking out him and his dolls. Secondly, he only has one escape option with his teleport, but people can just be waiting over by his dolls for his teleport, so right when he does appear, they could just banish him right away. He also has to deal with a 60-second cooldown after teleporting. And lastly, he's the only monster in the game that progressively gets weaker as pressure is put on him. The more you punish him, the more dolls that you kill, and the less hits he gets can significantly reduce his power potential, down to being the weakest monster in the game. After a while, he can just be a single body with a single doll to either possess or teleport to. Alright, now let's talk about how you really can counter this guy. The main counter to a Dollmaster is to put pressure on his main body. And you may hear this term pressure being used a lot during this video, and versing Dollmasters, your teammates might say it a lot. And it's because just as a monster puts pressure on your crafting tables by staying near them so you can't craft, you can also stay near him to make him anxious of possessing a doll. Being within 22 meters of a Dollmaster body will put an orange aura around his screen, which warns him that a teen is nearby with a kill weapon. If you just have a stun weapon, he'll get a yellow aura, which isn't as scary for him, but could still be enough pressure. Pressuring the body in this way makes the Dollmaster player very scared to possess a doll, as he will leave his body vulnerable and open for attack at any moment. Again, because he has no idea where you are, he just knows you're within a certain range, 22 meters, of his body while he's possessing a doll. And who knows, you can even be hiding in a nearby locker. This will basically force the Dollmaster out of a doll, so he is just completely stuck where he is. The only escape is for him to teleport away or possess a doll in front of his body area to hunt for the person that is pressuring him. And during that entire time, every other teammate can be making weapons or disarming dolls near their crafting stations. All it takes is one lone person with a weapon to be in the radius of his body to scare him enough to unpossess all his dolls. And once others have weapons, everyone should come pressure his body, and getting one simple doll kill leaves his body open for attack. Alright, now let's go over the two scenarios that can happen while you're pressuring his body. Alright, scenario 1, he can teleport away. You should of course call this out to your team and try to find where he's going to be setting up next so you can focus on pressuring the body more. Again, pressuring meaning just being in a range of it. You don't need to make any aggressive pushes by yourself unless maybe he decides to possess a far away doll. Once that teleport happens though, you know he is vulnerable for 60 seconds where he is unable to teleport. Another great counter for the teleport is to have other teammates wait next to dolls and purposely not disarm them. So when you pressure his body and he does teleport away to a doll, they will be there ready to attack him. Alright, the second scenario that can happen when pressuring his body is that he can plop a doll down in front of him and possess it and come hunting for you in the area. At this point, just hide, delay time, or simply use your weapon to slow the doll, and if you have to, kill it so he's stunned and has one less doll. At that point, if everyone is crafting weapons, they should have some pretty nice progress. Remember though that once you banish the Dollmaster, he gets all his dolls back to place wherever he wants. A really great way to see how weak and exposed a Dollmaster actually is to just play him yourself. That way you'll see how hard it is to stay in a doll when you know someone is nearby pressuring your body, because it truly is a terrifying thing for the Dollmaster. Now, what are the best weapons against Dollmaster? I get this question all the time. Well, of course, the dolls have a very small body, so something like the Radiant Cross with its large cone attack is very easy to kill dolls with and get quick stuns with. The Flamethrower isn't bad either for kiting dolls to slow them down or kill them. Things like the Infernal Eye or Shock Sphere flying quickly into his hiding spot gives him very little warning to unpossess the doll in time before you crash into the body. But you should probably have someone go into the radius first and ping his location, someone without a weapon so he doesn't get the warning. Also beware, if you're using one of those weapons, a doll could always block your Shock Sphere or Infernal Eye attack. But at that point, make sure someone else is ready to run in since he'll be stunned. It all really depends on if you're trying to use the weapon against the Dollmaster, who most of the time will be stunned when you're killing him, or if you're trying to use a weapon on a doll. Because something like the Cursed Sword is a much harder weapon to hit dolls with, but is still great against the body. Solar Flares are a weird one. They're hard to get in the room of a Dollmaster, but great for blocking his exit when his teleport is down. And even better for setting up near an unpossessed doll, so when he does teleport to it, or possess the doll, the solar flare is already up and ready and in line of sight of him. There's so many different ways and scenarios where weapons differ in popularity, but they all have their own positives and negatives in certain situations. But yeah, that's really about it. I just wanted to make a quick guide on how to counter Dollmaster because he's a big point of contention in the community right now. I know a lot of people have been asking for this video, especially as a very experienced Dollmaster player. I think being more experienced as Dollmaster lets me know more about how to actually counter him compared to just playing against him with randoms, because I can see myself how I was countered. Some say he's too hard to play against, some say he's too hard to play as because Monster's very hard to learn. And yeah, if you're solo queued, it's going to be a little harder to play against, and if you have voice chat off as well. But the ping system is really great, and looking down at the HUD to see if someone is getting chased specifically by a doll or by the Dollmaster is very important, because they do have two different icons now. One has a little face behind the person showing that it's a doll chasing them, and one is just the regular chase icon, which means the Dollmaster body is chasing someone. So if they're like hard pinging, you know that if you go over there, it's probably just going to be a doll based on if you're seeing them get chased in the HUD by a doll or a Dollmaster. So I think the devs have done a great job of giving just as much communication as possible. Even if you are a solo queue player, you just have all these different elements to help you in the battle against a Dollmaster. If you see a doll slouched over and unpossessed, that means that he has a doll count of a max of 6. He's using a mutation that gives him 6 dolls. If you're running by a doll and you see it twitching all over the place, that means he has a max of 4 dolls because he's using Tricky, which detects teens in a shorter radius when they're running. And if you see the normal doll just sitting there on the ground, you know he has a max of 5 dolls. But yeah, I wish you all the best of luck in your matches against the Dollmaster, whether you're teamed up or solo queue. Remember, teamwork makes the dream work, and something as simple as delaying time or standing near the monster can help your entire team craft or heal while you're distracting the body. But yeah, if this video helped you out and you learned anything here today, subscribe, leave a like, helps me out a ton, and I will see you all in the beyond.